Okay, and start now. Welcome back to our presentation, and this time we are to feature our propositions for a lighting redesign of Rizal Auditorium titled Rekindled Radiance, Revitalizing the Rizal Auditorium Through Layers of Illumination. Our group members are the following shown below. We have me, Marin, Tatagan, Chavez, Kausapin, and Nasin. Let's move on.
We shall discuss the following about the auditorium. Its as-built plans and analysis of the existing layout and specs, documentation, our proposed methods of redesign, proposed and detailed plans, and our renders and perspectives. Lastly, let's begin.
We've introduced the Rizal Auditorium or the Francisco Balagtas Auditorium before, so with the auditorium measuring around 401 square meters, we factored in the area to determine our lighting levels and fixture spacing. This ensured consistent brightness throughout the space, not just on stage but across the seating area, and allowed us to divide the room into separate lighting zones for better control and energy efficiency.
Let's recall. The as-built plans feature 12 rows of seating and a wide stage perfect for small to medium performances. This time, our presentation features the auditorium's reflected ceiling plan. As you can see, it includes an array of pin lights, stage lights, and more of which shall be discussed later in our analysis portion.
The rest of the as-built plans featured the standard lighting. No wall lighting features were noticed, as well as any floor lighting, which is a common occurrence in auditoriums or cinemas. The alignment of the array of pin lights rolling across the room is seemingly sufficient in providing so-so lighting along the aisles and seatings, drawing minimal attention to the audience. This was the case as we noticed more of the variety lighting materials were focused on the stage, which is an expected outcome for an auditorium. We will discuss more of why this isn't or shouldn't always be the case.
As previously mentioned in our analysis and proposition for the acoustic redesign, we hope to propose a more vibrant, effective redesign of the auditorium to improve the interior aesthetics, enhance the atmosphere, while also achieving better sound quality and overall performance. To reach that goal, we must examine the pros and cons of the current design of the auditorium. In our examination of the auditorium, we assessed the existing lighting layout to determine its functionality and visual performance. Although the space, yes, is sufficiently illuminated, several issues were identified. The stage lighting works well in showcasing speakers, but could be refined to create more dynamic and focused effects. Meanwhile, the audience seating area lacks proper task lighting during academic uses such as testing, where students require clear visibility for reading and writing. Visually, the lighting produces a rather dull atmosphere that can feel very tense or overly formal, particularly when waiting for the events to begin. Personally, the atmosphere the space the space gives makes me or the rest of us feel one of these moods: tense, sleepy, or uncomfortable. These findings emphasize the importance of a redesign that not only improves lighting performance but also fosters a warmer, more engaging environment for users.
Let's revisit our previous documentation of the auditorium. As seen in the photos, there is an abundance of pin lights and downlights installed across the ceiling. By our observation, the lighting system must effectively address the needs of both the audience and the performers, distributed across 8 aisles, and the performers who may require more dynamic and adaptable lighting during presentation and performances. In general, the auditorium is adequately lit. However, the intensity and placement of some fixtures can appear overly bright or blinding when looked directly, both in photos and on site. While the li- while this bright shadow-free setup enhances visibility, it is also contributes to the overall dullness of the space. Combined with the auditorium's muted color palette and minimal aesthetics, placement, the current lighting does little to elevate the atmosphere or create sense of warmth and visual interest for the visitors. Thanks.
For our design propositions and solutions, we offered changes for the ceiling, stage, flooring, and wall. So for the ceiling, the contoured ceiling is made of perforated wood veneer panels with mineral wool backing. Like discussed before, it is shaped in a concave, convex way for the effective dispersion of sound across the auditorium. This also works well as a not so strong, not so weak light diffuser, which may help in reducing the glare from recessed lights. In the first picture to the right is the supposed outcome, an array of Philips Green Space G5 LED downlights spanning all around the audience area. You will be able to find or view the lighting layout better later. The Cove lighting, however, shall be made up of these kinds of lightings: the Philips Styli D, Evo Accent LEDs, as well as alternative lighting options listed here below, which also offer the same effect. This way, the light is, in a way, concentrated on the given space for it to be diffused upon, while also giving that cove lighting slash and or washed light effect that will surely help disperse an ambient and general lighting throughout the room.
The stage area features the typical arrangement of lighting needed for performances and such. Stage track lights were applied to accommodate lighting effects needed for the stage activities. And behind the stage features a recessed covered ceiling with recessed LED downlights and LED strip lights for events like discussions and seminars, which more or less need balanced and equal lighting all throughout the show.
The flooring includes an LED profile which acts as an encasement for the LED step and stair lighting fixture in places like cinemas and opera houses. It is common to see lighting strips on the ground that act as a guide for people who traverse through the space in the dark. This application will surely help users find their ways through the auditorium with less likelihood for incidents like tripping.
For pro- for the walls, only minimal changes were applied, particularly dimmable LED strip lights in between the crevices of the wall panels, which happen to have small spaces in between. This acts as an accent lighting to help users understand the depth of the walls, especially in times when the auditorium is dark. For our propositions for the floor plan, here are out floor plans with some callouts for reference, which includes the floor lighting and wall lights. The treatment strategies were already mentioned in each slide discussing the lighting and specifications for the stage area, ceiling, floor, and walls.
More details are shown here. You can see on the left is the reflected ceiling plan showcasing the contoured ceiling and some callouts to show us the location of the lights. On the right is the lighting layout. The various colors we used are for referencing each grouping of lights via each circuit for each switch or push button to access them. All of these slides shall be featured into three main modes: general, task, and accent lighting. You'll see in effect later, but the purpose of each is that the auditorium will be used for school conferences, hence general lighting. Task lighting for times the space will be used for tests and lectures when students need to read, and accent lighting for dimness when the focus of all should be onto the stage. Most of the lighting fixtures selected are turnable fixtures. Next slide.
More detailed plans, we've included our call-outs from the past and added a few changes needed to indicate our lighting implementations, which are all the yellow texts. You'll see the locations of the cove lighting, effects, recessed lighting, stage lightings, floor lightings, and more. Other changes were also called out.
Here, you can see the placement of the recessed downlights along the audience area as well as the covered recessed ceiling in the stage area. More details were also added so we'll give you a moment to view and absorb our changes. So feel free to pause the video when needed.
Here are our perspectives. The light setting for these pictures are for our general lighting mode, which can also be turned down to see more for the accent or ambient lighting mode to give a comfortable feel. Then for our stage lighting, purpose for performances and conferences/seminars. Then lastly, our task lighting mode for times when users need to read something on their seats, write something, or generally need to focus.
And that is about it for our presentation. We hope you took in all of what was said, and thank you for watching.